This internet thing is fucking enormous. It's much bigger than everybody in this conference hall realizes, including the guy that's delivering this speech right now. And the truth is, it's in a sweet spot. If you look at real estate, if you look at the printing press, if you look at the invention of television, or when people explore new territories, countries, opportunities, those moments are really interesting because they all take very different timelines. And you've got people who get a lot of upside in the very beginning, but there's a lot of casualties. I mean, like literally discovering a new land, literally landing on a new land. There's people that have to taste weird berries, and some of those fuckers die because they're poisonous. And so like there's risk in the beginning. I launched an e-commerce, it's so funny right now, as a lot of you know, because of Shopify and Instagram and other things, e-commerce, selling stuff, especially for influencers who are now getting into merchandise, is becoming like this thing. And everyone's like, oh, e-commerce. And I literally think to myself, my God, I launched an e-commerce wine business in 1996 when a lot of these influencers weren't even born yet. So I've been through the early stages of the opportunity of the internet, but this moment, late 2018, what excites me, especially in the context of me having to give a speech, is regardless of where you are in your career, how much money you make, how much ambition you have, how old you are, what you do you work for somebody, do you not, are you in school, no matter what the circumstances for everybody in this event, the one thing that we are all completely bound by are two things that continue to run through my head. Number one, attention, right? The one thing that everybody here has to amass is the other person's attention. Regardless of your ambition here, whether it's to build a business, to run for political office, to raise money for a nonprofit, the one thing that is guaranteed. How many people here are in B2B businesses? Raise your hand. Just raise them high, right? And B2C? And how many people, by show of hands, here work for a company? Raise your hands. Great. So regardless of those three very, very different hand raises, attention is the one thing that we're all bound by because we all need it to achieve whatever we want. The other thing we're all completely tied to, regardless of our circumstance right now, is our timing. We're all here, right now, here. And let me tell you about here and right now. For all the things that people are cynical about and shitting on for the internet, the fact that people think social media leads to all these negativities, bullying and all these things, regardless of how you look at it, the flip side is remarkably true. The opportunity to do what you want to do and be happy is far greater in an internet world where the internet is the middleman, not an actual human being or a company. We are living through a time where literally this is the game. And to me, that is remarkable because it's completely democratized our opportunity. The biggest reason most people in this auditorium tonight are not winning to where they want to be is far more on themselves than on the outside forces. The reason I'm remarkably happy as a human being is because my favorite word and the framework of my life and how I navigate it is accountability. I am stunned by the fact that most people haven't wrapped their head around the fact that accountability is what actually leads to happiness. I'm also stunned that people still think money is a parallel to happiness. If I could achieve anything tonight, it would be putting people in a place of understanding that the far majority of this room would be much happier making $100,000 a year than making $1 million a year. It doesn't make sense when you're not in either place, but it's remarkable to watch the world navigate. And as we start getting into far more interesting territories as humans around mental health and other things of that nature, I think we are on the early stages of having far more mature conversations about what the fuck are we doing on this planet and what actually puts us in a good place. And I really genuinely believe that this is a remarkable time. I think for me, as you can imagine, when I stand up here, there really is only one ROI for me. Actually, there's two. One, I want to put things on film that are historically correct. The reason I talk about everybody here buying Facebook ads and Instagram ads and creating content at scale and doing podcasts and influencer marketing and all that detailed stuff, the reason I put it out selfishly is because it's all going to be looked upon 5 to 10 years from now as an underpriced execution during this era, right? Amazon, a company I'm completely fascinated by, was the biggest spender on Google in the first 5 to 7 years of that platform. They used those ads that were underpriced to it become one of the biggest companies in the world. I am able to have 3,500 people come to a conference in Australia on the other side of the world on the back of executing on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram properly. It's not super complicated. The concept's not complicated. I often refer to the concept similar to being in good shape. Like, being in good shape is super basic. Eat well and exercise, dickface, right? The problem isn't the thesis. The strategy is not the problem. The problem is cupcakes are fucking delicious, right? So to me, it's no different than what I think about everybody should be doing here for their business or the way they should be marketing. I can sit here and I've pounded it. If you can, how many people here consume my content on the internet? Raise your hands. Cool. I've pounded the thesis down your throat over the last 2 years at scale, in fucking video form, in picture form, in written form, in audio form. Like, I'm trying to I'm trying to create new ways to be in forums to say the same fucking shit, which is, got a little close there, buddy, which is very simply, this is what holds the attention of our society. And I'm sure there's people sitting in this audience that say their customers aren't on it or their age group isn't on it, but the data's very clear that between Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube, you are going to be able to reach, and by the way, one of the remarkable things of coming to this amazing country is that my thesis on what's happening is actually even a better deal in Australia than it is in the US, because in the US, some companies are starting to figure it out, which makes the prices go up. The prices are remarkably underpriced. I mean, literally, I don't care if you're a lawyer, a financial advisor, a real estate executive, a fitness influencer, you sell jump ropes, candy, I don't give a shit. If you are not running ads on Facebook and Instagram at scale, you're making a huge mistake. And please understand that I know many of you have run ads and they didn't work, and it's because the ads, the videos and the pictures were your problem, or the way that you segmented the media. There is no debate that the media itself is underpriced, but you have to know how to use it. And so for me, it's just a remarkable time. Like, obviously, if you follow me on Instagram, a place where I only have 1 minute to make a video, I've been much more into mindset and strategy on that platform, and that's another place that I spend a lot of time on. In a world where I know the far majority of this room knows where I stand or what to do on social media to drive their business or their ambition, it's remarkable that so many of you don't do it. After spieling every day for years, I came to realize it's not about the education. It's about where they are here that is clearly dictating why they're not doing it. That started getting me into places around judgment and insecurities, the ways people were raised, just a million different variables. And I stand here today excited because I also believe, for all the negativity, obviously as the world has become highly political, with all the way that people manifest a thing that I believe in the most, misery loves company. So watching people actually, I mean, guys, it is remarkable for me to watch people actually spend their time to go on somebody else's profile and say something shitty about them. Like, how many people here have had somebody comment shitty about them on a post in social? Raise your hand. Cool. I just want to really put this seed in your mind as somebody who gets thousands of shitty comments about him on a daily basis. If somebody actually has the time to consume your content and then leave something shitty about you with their time, think about how fucked up their life actually is. I have never, to this day, felt bad for me when somebody leaves a shitty comment. I literally look at it and I feel bad for them because I never in a million years, because of all the happiness that I have inside of me, would waste 2 seconds saying something bad about somebody for no reason. And more importantly, and probably the thing that I need to spend a lot more time on, is the word that drives my life is actually context, not content. I talk so much about content. The reason I am successful at what I do, and my companies are successful, and the companies I advise are successful, and the people that follow are successful, is because they're great at context, not just content. Clearly, if you don't have context on the other person, if you're not deploying empathy for the other person, if you're not worried about them, then you have no shot. It's really no different than giving a speech. The reason I'm a dominant public speaker and one of the best at what I do is because I'm far more worried in the next 32 minutes plus about delivering you value and giving stuff for you, not what I can get out of it for me. You know, some speakers get confused and they want your money. I don't want your fucking money. I want you to win and then send me an email that you fucking won. Understand? Because I don't need your fucking money, because I know how to make money selling shit I find at garage sales. That's a whole nother keynote for another day. I'm about to lose my mind. You're about to lose me into a very deep seed of garage selling and flipping on eBay. So I'll miss all of you. This might be my